San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already using the brand new system.
This video may contain adult language and situations. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. What is up, my dudes? It's the Reddit Fairy, and I am back yet again with another episode of r/ChoosingBeggars. That's right, I've been paying attention to the content that you guys have most been interested in, and it seems to be the Choosing Beggars subreddit. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Tech support. Sorry for the grammar and spelling errors in advance. I feel this belongs in this group as opposed to a Karen group. So I occasionally repair laptops and computers for fun. I often offer help for free to family and some friends as I am not a professional. So one day, I get a call from a former college friend and said that her 3-year-old laptop is running super slow. I agreed to work on it and see what the issue was. When she arrived, I did a quick run-through of her computer to see if it was a space issue, RAM issue, or maybe virus issue. Her laptop was surprisingly clean for 3 years old and had only a couple of viruses on it. After taking care of that, it was still running at the speed of a snail. Her RAM was maxed out at 8 gigabytes. So I looked at the hard drive space and it was at 470 out of 500 gigabytes used. I opened the hard drive folder and she screamed at me, "Don't judge me, oh my god!" Well, turns out she had a lot of personal adult films on it, and I didn't see any, but she went bright red. Look, I don't care what you do in your personal life. Sorry I got too close to your stash. You will need to move them to an external hard drive or get a new hard drive and I can put it in there for you. She looked at me with this bewildered look and replied, "So, why can't you just buy me a new one and put it in?" Remember, I do this for free, and I don't have spare parts around to throw into random computers. What you need will be around $300, and I'm not going to buy it for you. If you go to the computer shop down the street with me, I am sure, let's call him Alex, the owner who knows me, will give you a discount. What? No way! You need to fix this for me now. I have to get to work and I need my laptop. I gave her a blank stare and said, "I do this for family and friends for free. You are no longer the latter and are definitely not the former. Good luck and leave." She stormed off without her machine and a day later had a mutual ex pick it up for her. I luckily never saw or heard from her again. Oh my god, just give it to her for free. What is with these people? Oh. Woman at McDonald's not satisfied with $5. Had a woman come into McDonald's screaming about how she was hungry. The manager comes up to her and tells her if she's hungry, she can ask for money outside and stop disturbing the other customers. She yells at the manager and repeats that she's hungry. The manager asks her to leave. She asks people for money to buy some food and a man gives her $5. She orders a meal and a large shake, then complains that $5 isn't enough. The man is about to give her another $5, but the manager stops him. She says $5 is plenty enough for something to eat. He ends up giving her the money anyways, and I left shortly after. What a woman. Right? What a woman. What the... I mean, she's probably... I get it, she's hungry, but $5 isn't enough to get something to eat. Like, even I can eat a full meal off of $5. Like, come on. Choosing Beggars. Influencer wants free pair of custom shoes for her 7,000 fake followers. So me and my brother run this custom shoes business, which I will not tell you the name of to prevent promotions, etc. But we got a DM from this girl who wanted to work together to help our business grow since we just started it. Keep in mind, shoes cost $100 plus without customization. So the shoes we sell are easily $160 plus. She thought it would be a good deal for us to send her free products, in this case shoes, and for us to receive a shout out on her Instagram page. And she was pretty specific of the type of custom shoe she wanted as well. She had around 7,000 followers, but she followed around 10,000 people. We looked at her followers and saw that they were all Indian or Arabic people. You might think, what's wrong with this? Really, there's nothing wrong with that. But, well, they are from the Netherlands, nowhere near these countries, and she only had 50 likes or so on her posts. Worst thing of all is this: it would only be a story shoutout. Bitch, if I spent $160 plus on Instagram promotions, I would reach 80,000 people. Some people. Right? For real. Like, the money that... that's exactly it right there. That money that you spent on somebody who doesn't even have any kind of influence in social media, you could just pay it to the social media site and get yourself promoted and get followers that way. Like, stupid. People are so dumb. Homeless man asks for money for food, rejects food. Don't think I'm being the asshole here, but I just bought a drunken KFC when a dude comes up and asks for change to buy food. Try to give him my entire KFC meal is just bought, and he walked away and cussed at me. That's why they say oh man, see, this makes me so mad because I love to help people when I can. I love helping people, but when shit like this happens, it just makes you jaded to the whole thing. And that's why we're in this situation where we have so many people that need help and nobody helps them. It's because we're forever suspicious of what they're gonna do with that help. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. Buy family dinner? Just spend it on what I want instead. I originally shared this on r/entitled people. Was catching up with a friend from university and she passed on this gem. She had a mini family reunion and flew to visit her mom and sister and family. She brought her kids with her and they used to go to a buffet in a local casino until the casino recently shut it down. And they were excited that there was a casino in her hometown that had a nice buffet. Since her mom, sister, brother-in-law, and their kids were there too, she invited them to join and offered to pick up the tab. Her sister, the entitled parent, and brother-in-law agreed to the invite, and together they looked at the buffet site online the day before and saw it was an Italian food theme night. They also saw that the cost was kinda high, and the total bill for 9 people would be over $200. My friend wasn't too thrilled about that, but it seemed like a special occasion and was just going to bite the bullet. The next day, the family was spending time together when my friend's sister approached her. I wish you could hear my friend retell the story, but the dialogue was something like this. Entitled parent. So, I'm a little worried about going to the buffet tonight. Friend. Oh, really? Well, why? Entitled parent. Well, I'm worried about the gluten because of my allergies. Friend. Oh, because it's Italian night? Entitled parent. Exactly. Friend. That does suck, but I'm sure they will have a lot of stuff that you can eat. Plus, it's really for the kids. Entitled parent. I guess. But hey, here's an idea. Do your kids eat chicken teriyaki? Friend. Confused. No, I don't think so. Why? Entitled parent. Well, how about instead of going to buffet, why don't you take us to a really expensive sushi restaurant instead? Friend. Completely confused and a bit stunned. but you know I don't like seafood. My kids don't like it, and our mom doesn't like it. In fact, only you and brother-in-law eat sushi. Entitled parent. Well, yeah, but our kids will probably like it, and then I don't have to worry about gluten, and it's great sushi. And since you are already going to spend that much on us, we could go someplace really nice. Friend apparently got pissed and took dinner off the table. Apparently, entitled parent was telling their mom she didn't get why friend was being so selfish and how she and brother-in-law were really looking forward to sushi. TLDR. Friend was going to take a lot of people to a restaurant that was going to cost over $200. Her entitled sister instead wanted friend to treat her and her husband to expensive sushi instead. Whoa, these people think that the world revolves around them. Like, it is very, it's an entitled parent story for sure, but it definitely belongs in Choosing Beggars too. Holy shit. Like, who are you? Who are you, biatch? Oh, your free socks aren't good enough? No free socks for you. This is a long one, and I apologize if formatting goes wrong. I'm on mobile, TLDR at Arent. So, I went shopping this morning with my mom. I needed some cheap clothes I can wear on holiday in October, and know a lot of shops currently have sales on their summer wear. In the UK, we have a shop called Primark. Unsure if it is elsewhere in the world, but Primark is cheap. Super cheap. But it's cheap for a reason. Clothes will last you a season, maybe. Material can be pretty flimsy. However, I just wanted some cheapo holiday clothes that it wouldn't matter if I binned them. Whilst in the shop, I rang my husband, who is the star CB in this story. I will call him Choosing Beggar Husband further on. Knowing he goes through socks quite quickly, his feet are sweaty, gross, and would probably kill off our cats if they sniffed one. I asked if he wanted a pack of socks, as he was getting low on unusable socks. I also asked if he wanted me to get him any of the shorts or t-shirts that were in the sale. His exact words to me were, "Just a pack of socks will do me fine, please." Note this guy's wording here. Now, Primark sells super cheap, will disintegrate when water touches them socks. 5 pairs for £2.50. Plain black. They sell better quality ones, 7 pairs for £5. Black with a dash of color on the heel and under the foot. I thought, fuck it, I'm paying. I'll get him the better quality pair. It's only £2.50 more after all. Then proceeded to spend a few more lovely hours spending far too much money, and then headed home. When I got into the house, I was greeted by my husband and our array of felines. I had 7 bags with me, popped them down, and said hello to everyone. After about 10 minutes of fussing our ginger cat for finally sharing some space on the bed with our new black kitten, I went downstairs to unpack various bags. Upon performing this task, I handed my husband his new socks. He looked at them, looked at me, looked at them again, and proceeded to walk away into the hallway. I heard him tut. I asked him what was wrong. "Nothing. I'm just unpacking the socks." 2 minutes pass. He then proceeded to walk into the kitchen, and then following conversation occurred. Choosing Beggar Husband. "Did they not just have plain socks?" Me. "Plain as in black?" Choosing Beggar Husband. "Yes, these have color on them." Me. "Only a bit, and you didn't specify you wanted black." Choosing Beggar Husband. "Well, I always have black socks." Me. "No, you actually have gray, black, and navy socks." Choosing Beggar Husband. "Yes, but I wanted black." Me. 1. You didn't specify you wanted pure black socks. 2. They are pretty much all black. They just have a colored heel and underneath stripe. Choosing Beggar Husband. But why didn't you get me plain black? You should have just got me plain black. I don't want these. You should have just got what I asked for. However, if you recall, he asked for socks, not plain black socks. He then proceeds to have a childlike fit over the fact that these socks aren't pure black and stomped upstairs to put them away. Well, I'm not really someone to take that kind of entitled attitude, especially from a grown man who hasn't paid for the damn socks. I didn't expect him to pay. I also didn't expect that reaction. So I thought, fuck him, looks like I've got some new socks. Went upstairs and moved the socks into my underwear drawer. He came in and asked what I was doing. So the next conversation then occurred. Me, putting my socks away. Choosing beggar husband. But they're mine. Me, no, you haven't paid for these or been shopping, so actually, they're mine. Choosing beggar husband. I was going to pay you. Me, why bother? You want black socks. Go get yourself some black socks. I'll keep these. Choosing beggar husband then quite obviously had no comeback. He hadn't paid for these socks. He said he didn't want these socks. So logic says, no socks. He then proceeded to say, I like to wear black socks to work, not colors. So I proceeded to put on one of these socks, and then a shoe. Guess what? All you could see was black sock. He again had no words, so he stomped back off downstairs. He then decided all this arguing had given him a hankering for one of those Krispy Kreme donuts I'd brought home as a treat as well. But not today, dear reader. I gently closed the lid of the box and said, oh no, I don't think so. You see, you didn't specify to me which donut you'd have wanted, and you only ever buy yourself jam donuts normally. There are no jam donuts in this box, so best not to settle for what you wouldn't normally have. Co-op is just up the road. Pop along. And that, people, is how a 35-year-old choosing beggar loses his free socks and his free donuts in the space of about 15 minutes. TLDR, man wanted socks, man got socks. Man bitched about the color of socks. Man no longer has socks. Man also doesn't have donuts, because donuts aren't for whiny bitches. Edit. My first gold. Thank you, stranger. Oh, that was good. That's so good. That was like petty revenge. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's right. You want a specific sock, you should have said that. Then you should be fucking thanking your stars that you have somebody to go and get shit like that for you. I feel I got scammed. I walked off the bus on my way to meet a friend when a woman approached me. Not homeless looking, but still dirty, just saying. Hello, would you spare any change? I'm so hungry. I don't have enough for groceries to feed my kids. I didn't have any cash, so I said, I don't have cash, but if you'd like, I can get you something at Starbucks, as we stood outside of a Starbucks. We walk in and she looks at the food display. I thought she'll get a salad or sandwich or yogurt, something. She said she's hungry. She proceeded to grab 2 salads, 2 sandwiches, and a yogurt. She looks at me and says, "It's okay, right? They're for my kids." Nervously, I say, "Sure." I order my refresher and I grab her things to pay, and the guy says, "If that's it," and before I say yes, she jumps in and says, "Can I get a double latte, 2 shots of blah 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 with 2 pumps of this?" I don't know exactly what she ordered. I don't drink coffee. But I was shook. My total ended up being over $30 for something I was planning on paying $4.25. While they were warming up a sandwich, I asked what her story was. She said she was a model. And by the way, she's white and I'm brown. My dude, I'm not sure what that has to do with this story, but on we go. She also began thanking me, and said could I get $37 out of the ATM because her kid has diabetes and she needs to get insulin. She also wore Ray-Bans. Again, my dude, Ray-Bans aren't that expensive. I have prescription Ray-Bans that most of it was covered through my medical benefits for my eye care, so you can't judge based on what people are wearing. People can get gifts. They have benefits. People may just recently became not so well off. You can't judge based on just that. But that being said, her mannerisms and everything does make her seem like a choosing beggar. American volunteer demands her own private space at a small nonprofit in rural Mongolia. First, and hopefully last time submitter, be gentle. People are me, an American Canadian hippie. Girlfriend, my American girlfriend. Batar, lovely Mongolian biologist and the guy essentially running the place. And an American woman we'll call Madeline. Madeline was in Mongolia for a little over a year with the Peace Corps. Yes, it's still a thing, and most of them are great. She's American, in her 50s, and is a pretty stereotypical white savior. She decided to spend some time off volunteering for this non-profit dog project outside of a national park, where me and my girlfriend decided to go as well. It's a good 2+ hours outside of Ulaanbaatar, the capital city, and the only thing nearby is the national park, about 3 kilometers away. My girlfriend and I decided to go there for 3 days, donate some money, and then go to the national park for another 3. The setup at the dog project was the fenced areas where the dogs were then 2 yurts, Mongolian yurts, on a nearby hill. One of them was the home of the employees of the dog project who did the feeding/watering of the dogs. Madeline's job as a volunteer would have been to help with that, which takes like 30 minutes in each the morning and evening. When we were emailing with the American who runs the project, he told us that we could stay in the yurt if we wanted. Girlfriend and I had been in Mongolia roughing it for a good chunk of the 2.5 months prior to this, so we decided to camp in our tent about 30 meters uphill from the yurts. The first night, Batar and Madeline shared the volunteer yurt that were 2 beds on either side of it. The second day, Batar gave us an incredible tour of the nearby national park. He was a wildlife biologist that had worked there for 7 years before he moved to the job at the dog project. He offered for Madeline to come along as well, but she declined because it was too touristy. Fair enough. I like to get off the beaten path as well. However, it ended up being the exact opposite. It was just the 3 of us, and we got to see all sorts of wildlife from upland buzzards to taki, the only true species of wild horses in the world, to marmos. As we were getting back from the national park, Batar said that Madeline is not a nice lady. We hadn't really seen anything wrong with her, and so we tried to defend her a little, saying that it was probably hard for a woman in her 50s to spend a year in Mongolia. We didn't get a chance to ask why he said that because we arrived back at the project. We decided instead of spending $100 USD per day at the national park camp we'd just stay at the dog project and donate that money plus what we would have already donated. Batar was actually the one who offered to let us stay there for longer and said we could sleep in the volunteer yurt if we wanted. Batar left the night back to the capital after we gave him the donation, and so it was us, Madeline, and the guy who looked after the dogs. The next day, we slept in a little bit and missed the feeding/watering of the dogs. It got hot really quick, and because it's Mongolia, there's no shade anywhere, just grassland. So we spent a lot of time in the volunteer yurt since it was the only place that was cool during the day. Madeline went out earlier in the day to the national park camp to charge her electronics, and when she got back, she said, "Can I have some time alone in my year?" I assumed that she had just had one of those voices/tones that sound bitchy, but it wasn't intentional. So I just said, of course. So girlfriend and I decided to go over to the national park camp to relax and have some lunch. Only place that sells food for a good 50 kilometers. Girlfriend and I talked, and she mentioned she was getting some super off vibes from Madeline. I thought she was overreacting. A few hours later, we decided to head back. It's 3 kilometers across an open hilly area in the Mongolian summer, so it was hot. So naturally, when we got back, we went into the only cool place, the volunteer yurt. After like 30 minutes of me being there, Madeline turned to me and just said, "Were you under the impression that you would sleep in here?" It hit me completely out of the blue, and so I explained that girlfriend and I had no intention of sleeping in here. We were just in there to cool off. Girlfriend was outside at that point, since our tent was hotter than a sauna during the day. She then went on a rant, saying that if we were going to sleep in the yurt, she would just leave and go to the national park camp and rent a yurt there. I again tried to tell her that we didn't want to stay there and would only be inside during the day when it was hot, but would sleep in our tent. She then went on to say that it was a volunteer yurt for volunteers, and I was told I'd be able to stay here alone, so less as you were told differently, I'll just leave. We were told differently. We were told in the email with the American who runs the place and in person by Batar that we could stay there if we wanted to. For the 3rd time, I told her we'd continue sleeping in our tent and asked if we did or said something wrong. She continued on her rant, saying we were treating it like a youth hostel and being disrespectful. It should be pointed out that we were in our 20s, so it was obviously a shot at our age. Considering we were staying there without electricity or running water, cooked all of our own meals, and had to squat over a hole to shit, we didn't think of it as a hostel at all. She also said that we weren't really volunteers since we had only helped feed the dogs once, whereas she had done it 3 times. Even though we weren't even there for the previous 2 times because we were with the manager of the whole place. For whatever reason, she could not understand that we didn't want to sleep in the yurt, so she finally decided to just pack up her stuff and walk over to the national park camp. The kicker of all this said she walked over to the yurt camp where she likely would have been paying $50 USD a day, staying with a bunch of tourists and likely having to actually share a yurt with someone compared with staying somewhere for free, only having to share it during the day. She also had to walk 3 kilometers each way, which she did for the next 2 days, and she left the dog project anytime she saw us. Also, as a volunteer, it was her job to help educate any tourists from the national park about the project. While she was away on one of those days, we got some visitors and basically did her job. Side note, one of the visitors was this 9-year-old Kiwi boy who absolutely loved the dogs, and he was super adorable. We messaged Batar after all this happened, and he just responded with, "See, I told you she wasn't a nice lady. Now you have your own yurt, haha." One final thing is that yurts in Mongolia are a single round room, and it's extremely rare to be the only person living in one. During a different part of our trip, girlfriend and I spent one night in a yurt with 9 other people. In most countries, if you're volunteering at a place, it's not atypical to be sharing a room with someone else. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this lady wasn't really there to do any kind of real charity work. I think she was just there for a little vacation, showing her privilege. What a piece of work. Ugh. Pizza Beggar. So I used to deliver pizzas for a big chain in a fairly large city. One day, I had this order to an area of town that can be a bit sketch. I get to the house and the windows had newspaper over them. It was run down. The order was pretty large. 3 pizzas, breadsticks, wings, and a soda. I knock on the door and a kid answers. "Hey dude, can you grab your parents? I have your order." The kid runs off and grabs his dad. A man looking like he just finished drinking a 30-pack appears. "Hey man, I have your order," I said to him. "I didn't order any pizza," the choosing beggar says. "Okay, sorry to disturb you." I begin to walk away. Now, this thing does happen. Someone moves and mentally uses the old address or an Airbnb, not knowing where they are, and use my location on Google Maps. I've heard it all. So I step away. The choosing beggar goes, "Well, wait. Do you have an onion and mushroom pizza, a sausage and black olive, and a cheese pizza with buffalo wings and some bread and a Coke?" I'm dumbfounded because, yeah, that's the exact order. "Yeah." "Well, I'll give you $10 for it all." "Sorry, man. It's a $40 order." "Yeah, but it's just gonna go to waste and my kids are really hungry." "Sorry, man. I can't do it." At this point, I'm back at my car. "Hey, don't be such a faggot about this. Just give me the food. I'll give you $10. Say you lost the order. Keep the 10 as a tip." "I'm good, dude." As I get into my car, he comes off his porch at me. "You fucking cocksucker! You're gonna starve my kids!" So I bolt away and he stands in the street, giving me the finger. Went back to the store and ate his pizza, and we blocked him for delivery. Good for you. What is with people and using that word though? For real, like, stop trying to insult people by their sexuality. That's not an insult, man. It's not an insult. Oh my god, gross. This guy sounds like a real winner. The Craigslist Karen. A few years back, I was selling a cell phone on good old Craigslist. I had a ton of hits, but Karen came in first and said she'd come to me immediately. I told her to come on down to my work. At the time, I was in my own little trailer as the place I was at was remodeling and it was slow season. My final message to anyone buying from me is a confirmation of price. Just so we're clear, the price is $400 and it comes with X, Y, and Z. No response. Spidey senses start tingling. About an hour later, Karen walks in. "Karen, I'm here for the phone." I had the phone charging on my desk, so it was ready for inspection. The phone was flawless. Karen picks it up and looks at it, scratching at non-existent stuff, giving that little sniff of disapproval, then says, "It's a little rougher than I thought." Me, "Nah. It's been fully encased in InvisiShield from the minute it was taken out of its box. There's not a scratch on there." Karen, "Well, it's not worth $400. Me, "That's the price. Take it or leave it." Karen, "I only brought $250 with me. You take it or leave it." I had already taken the phone back after her inspection, so at this point I put it in my desk drawer. Me, "Leave it. Have a nice day." Karen, "Excuse me, I drove almost 2 hours to get here, and I took time off work to pick this up." Me, "That's super neat. It's still for sale at $400. If you need to pick up more cash, just about every bank you can think of is within a few miles." Karen, "I want to speak to your manager right now." Me, "Sure thing. 2 trailers over, door on the right. Have fun." At the time, I was selling insurance out of a dealership, and a good friend of mine was the desk manager, my boss. As she stormed out, I messaged my friend boss about the crazy lady coming his way. A few minutes later, my desk phone rings from my boss. Boss, "Minja, did you refuse to sell your phone to this lady?" Me, "Yep, She wouldn't pay the agreed upon price. Boss, are you willing to negotiate the price? Me, nope, I already have other offers for full price. Boss, ma'am, we appreciate your time, but price is firm at $450. Karen in the background, what? He said 400. Boss, and you only brought 250. Sounds like you're short either way. Look, I can work a deal out for you here. If you pay me 200, I'll get him to sell you the phone for 250. I could almost hear gears turning before she said, fuck you, and left, slamming the door. Message from my boss, don't sell shit that isn't insurance at the dealership, retard. Oh, I don't like that word. I hate that word. Stop using that word, people. It's not... Oh, that makes me more angry than that person would have made you, I think. But still, fucking shitty choosing beggars. They definitely knew what the price was, so the fact that she showed up with only $250 just says right there that she was planning on ripping you off the entire time, so fuck that woman. Alright, my dudes, before I get into the last story of the video, I just want to remind you to scroll down and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified when I have future videos coming out with content like this. Let's get on to the last story. But we're a charity. I was selling 4 cocktail/ball gown dresses online. 1 gold, 1 blue, 1 green, and the last was a navy dress made for a child. They were originally selling around $200 to $300. I was selling them for around $20 to $50 each. I received a call from a lovely sounding lady who initially asked about the gold dress, the most expensive. Then she realized I was selling more than 1 dress, and her questions quickly turned from, what size is it, to personal questions such as, why are you selling them? Where did you wear them to? And, oh, but I'm sure you look beautiful in them. Are you sure you want to sell them? Slightly confused, I answered the questions. They were essentially just taking up space in my rather small wardrobe. Oh, but surely they mean something to you. Dresses are memories. I suppose? I have my photos of the events though, so I'm happy to let them go. Well, if that's the case, perhaps you would consider giving them to me. You can donate them. I run a wonderful charity for women who need dresses but cannot afford them. They would love your dresses. You'd be helping out other women have wonderful memories of their own. I had honestly considered this before. During formal season, Australian version of prom, there are various charities that do collect and give away dresses and suits for struggling families so their kids can dress up and enjoy their formals. So I asked her which charity she belonged to. We're new. We're just getting started. We'd just love your dresses. They'd really help us get started. Oh, okay. Do you have a website or Facebook I can look at? Are you a registered charity? Oh, no. We don't have any of that yet. Okay, so you're like well-known charity name? Not yet. She starts to speak quickly, as if trying to avoid me noticing. We set up stores for families to come and to sell the dresses much cheaper than any other stores, but we're a charity. I'm sorry, you sell them? Yes, but we're a charity. If you send us the dresses, we can make sure they go to people who need them. We're based in another state. I know postage isn't expensive. You'd be really doing a wonderful thing for us and families in need. I'm sorry, but how much do you normally charge for the dresses? Suddenly, she sounds a little less bubbly and cheerful and a little more on the snarky side, speaking faster than she already had been. Oh, that doesn't matter. You don't need them, right? What's $100 to you against helping to make a lovely memory for a lovely lady in need? I'm happy to donate them to a charity, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable with posting them. I think I'd rather deliver them to a local charity. Now all of the cheerfulness is out of her voice. She's almost snappy now. Well, that would be your choice. Personally, I believe in helping those who ask. If you had no intention of giving them away, you should have said so. I'll take all 4 for $50 if that makes you happy, but I don't think you should want money at all. I think you should just do the right thing and donate them. I'm a little stunned at the sudden turn in behavior. You have a great point. I'll donate them to my local charity. Thanks for the idea and have a lovely day. She started to say something else, but I hung up on her at that point. I'm not sure she understands what charity means, but my definition certainly isn't buying cheap dresses to sell for more. Ugh, gross. Yeah, good on you. Definitely bring them to a local charity instead of sending them to that girl, because I honestly don't think that she's gonna send any of that money to charity. She probably just wants to pocket all of it. Oh, I see people like this on Facebook Marketplace all the time, and there's some people I actually know, and being a crafty person myself, I understand how things are priced and how some things are supposed to be sold for, and you see people just gouging other people. Like, I get it, you're an artist. You put a price on your own work, but I'm sorry, if it looks like a toddler could have made your work, I'm just gonna leave it at that, yeah. Alright, my dudes, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I posted all the links to the stories I read in the description, so head on over to Reddit and show those posters some love. And while you're there, if you have your own story, don't forget to head on over to the subreddit r/RedditFairy and submit your own stories there. You never know, they just might show up in the next video. So until next time, have a good one.
Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. In fact, both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already using the brand new system.